question. Have you ever stopped to ask, what really is a computer? Not the screen, not the keyboard, but the core of it all. In this episode of Digital Brain, we peel back the layers of modern machines and go straight to the source. No jargon, no fluff, just one powerful concept: input, process, output. The IPO cycle. It might sound too simple at first, but trust us, this cycle powers everything from smartwatches to supercomputers. And once you see it, you would use it. It's everywhere. So buckle up, because we're about to explore how something this basic can build a digital world so complex, even your favorite video game is just looping IPO really fast.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on something we all use, constantly, but maybe don't think about its core. What is a computer, fundamentally? We've got this focused piece of info here that, well, it tries to strip everything back to the basics. Our mission really is just to get a clear handle on that essential definition, moving past, maybe, our everyday assumptions.
Exactly. Yeah, we're looking at a definition that gives us a pretty powerful framework, even though it seems simple at first glance. Mm-hmm. It's really about pinning down that fundamental process behind all computation.
Okay, right. So our source gives us this basic idea. A computer is an electronic device that uses a given input, and gives the output. And it even labels it the IPO cycle, input, process, output. Now, when you first hear that, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But that simplicity, that's actually where the power is. Just think about it, right? At its absolute core, a computer takes something in, it does something to it, manipulates it somehow, and then something comes out. It's this cycle, just repeating over and over.
Right. And that immediately makes me think, okay, what kind of input are we talking about? Is it just like me typing, or is it more? And the process part, what's actually happening in there? What's, the magic? And what about the output? What forms can that take?
Yeah, those are spot-on questions. And the neat thing about this IPO model is how flexible it is. So input, that could be data you type, sure, but it could also be like a signal from a sensor, maybe a mouse click. The process, well, that's the computer following instructions, a program, right? It's manipulating that input, doing calculations, maybe sorting stuff, making decisions based on rules, and the output is just as varied. Could be the screen, yeah. Or sounds from speakers, a file saved, maybe even a signal to another machine.
Okay. Now, our source also mentions that you can sort of classify computers based on the signals they use. It lists analog, digital, and hybrid, which is interesting, knowing there are different kinds. But the source is pretty clear. It says we should focus on digital for this, calling the others irrelevant here.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a really crucial point for understanding things today. Because while those other types exist, almost everything we use daily, it's digital.
Right.
Your laptop, your phone, smartwatches, you name it. So by focusing on digital computers and that IPO cycle, we're looking at the absolute core principles for how, basically all modern tech works. It's about getting that foundation down first, before worrying about the different flavors.
So if we stick with just this input, process, output for digital computers, it still feels incredibly basic. Is that really all there is to it? It sort of feels like this deep dive should uncover something, more complex.
Well, yeah, that's the fascinating part. How this incredibly simple cycle can be chained together, repeated millions or even billions of times every single second. And that's how you get complexity. Think about something really involved like editing video or playing a high-end game. Deep down, the computer is still just doing that loop. Input your commands, the game's data, process running calculations, rendering graphics based on instructions, output what you actually see and hear. The complexity comes from the sheer speed and number of those cycles and just how sophisticated the instructions for the process part are.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So to kind of wrap it up, the fundamental definition, the absolute core of a digital computer, according to this source anyway, it really just boils down to input, process, output. IPO. Something goes in, stuff happens to it based on instructions, and something comes out. It's surprisingly elegant, actually. Foundational.
Absolutely. It really is. And if you, listening, start to look at technology around you through that lens, you'll probably start seeing this basic IPO thing happening in places you didn't expect.
Yeah, so here's something to really chew on after this, a final thought. Now that you've got this basic IPO cycle in mind, think about everyday things, maybe even systems, not just devices. What else takes an input, processes it somehow, and gives an output. Are there surprising things that might fit this definition? And, what does it really mean that such a simple idea is the bedrock for all this incredibly powerful, complex tech that basically runs our world now? Something to think about.
So here's the big reveal. The computer, at its deepest level, is just running a loop. Input, process, output. Again and again, millions of times a second. That's it. That's the core of digital computing. And that humble IPO cycle, it's not just inside your laptop. It's the silent rhythm behind your phone, your smartwatch, your entire digital life. Start looking for it in the world around you. Systems, machines, even human workflows. You might be surprised how far this simple model stretches. And if this sparked the light bulb moment, go ahead, subscribe and share your thoughts. Tell us, what's one everyday thing you now see differently through the IPO lens? Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep decoding the digital brain.